Hello, nobody.
So let's get our little advert thing up.
Hello, Raptor. How's it going?
So this week we're going to cover a few things. We're going to chat about the beta. We're going to go into some of the new stuff that we're working on. So horses, which are in the game, so they'll be in the beta that we'll do right after this stream. We'll go into some work in progress stuff. So we'll chat about combat and a new mercenary system, which is quite exciting. There's a couple of other things I wanted to cover after that, which was something to do with resources, so a resource system we're working on, and I think that should be it. So we've only got an hour to cover that, so we'll do it quickly. This week it's me and James, so it's Mitch and James on the stream.
Hello.
Hiya. Hello everyone. We're also doing, just because we need to start archiving the videos, we're doing a YouTube live stream as well, so we'll just link that in the chat if I can figure out how to do that.
Multitasking.
YouTube live. Yes, this will help us just archive our. I mean, we're still quite keen on using Steam Broadcast as the main platform, but we can start using YouTube just to back up a lot of the files and broadcasts we're doing.
Yeah. That'll be good as well if we have problems like with the chat last time. The Steam chat.
Yeah, Steam chat's been a bit funny. So our first stream, the chat wasn't working on Steam side, so at least we'll have a nice backup for on YouTube chat as well. Cool. So the first thing I wanted to chat about, I mainly do a lot of technical stuff, so programming and stuff like that, and part of my job is handling builds and those kind of stuff. So in the game we've got kind of three builds that we use. We've got the main branch, which is like public facing, you know, what the main purchasers of the game see. We've got the beta branch, which we kind of stick in a bit more.
That's our experimental, effectively, branch.
It's like a staging branch, and then we have got an extra experimental branch. So just to access that, I'm sure you guys already know, but just to access that, we're gonna go to the game in your library, and then we're gonna right-click the Black Death, go to Properties.
So I don't think you guys can see this, but if you go to your library, there you go. Cool.
Yeah, we go to Properties, and then you can see this little window here, and then another tab there you got betas, and then the branches kind of pop up in this area. We're doing that. So some new features in this beta. We've got the new siege level. So actually we'll show that in the editor. So we're going to do different types of broadcasts. So this one is going to be a bit more technical, so we'll have a bit more of the engine. We use Unreal Engine. You'll see a bit more of the engine stuff. Just what kind of like stuff we prod and poke at, things we do. So this is our editor for the game Black Death, and we're just going to go to level for Homestead. Just ignore warnings, they're made up. So right after the stream, what we're going to do, we're going to push another beta branch out, and this will include all this new content. My character was a bit struggling anyway before we started.
A bit hungry.
So how we get to the siege map, this new event kind of adventure map, as we talked to Merchant. There's actually a cost for these levels. There's a lot of reward and stuff, so there's lots of loot, and especially if you manage to get to the end of the level, there'll be a whole bunch of really wealthy loot to get. So there's actually an entry cost for playing it.
So this was important for the balancing of the game, like Mitch just said, because of the stuff that's inside. We wanted to try and make it so you couldn't just straight away go there and keep going. So there'll be a cost, and that we'll play with that until we find the right sort of like level. Traveling to Mercia and traveling to the arena and traveling to your homestead is continuing to be free for now. But again, we might try and put some stuff in to help with balancing for them.
Yeah. So I mean that's how you get into siege. We covered it a bit last week, so as much as I'll show you this week. And what we will do though is we'll get straight into the horse stuff. We've put, for this beta, we've put some horses into this level, so there'll be some horses that spawn. You can kill them and stuff, so they have to respawn. Sometimes we do wipe them out, but they'll come back, so don't worry too much. So what we'll do is we'll pop to, we've got a multitude of test levels that we kind of like use to...
Yeah, these are all secret behind the scenes levels.
So we'll... So the horse was a bit of a challenge. I mean, the obvious kind of use of horse is just travelling around quicker. So that's going to affect how we expand the levels and make sure we encompass a good size, so you're not like spinning around the same small bit. We've been thinking James had a quite good idea thinking about like using the horse to carry loot. So like a donkey and stuff like that, we can like extend into things, those kind of areas.
Yeah, we were thinking, so if you want to do your mining run to go pick up a load of ore, then you can carry them all, so it's a bit more precious.
Yeah, so this is one of the horses. We haven't got collision on our test level, so we can just fly through stuff. But they'll just pot around, and they don't really like you to start with, so you'll just have to try and catch one. We're thinking of taming mechanics and stuff that we haven't put in yet. So like feeding the horse or trying to capture it or stuff like that would be good. Yeah. So let's get this guy.
So Riga is asking, when we release the horse, are we going to make entrances and doors bigger?
Well, we're thinking horse-specific content, so stables and stuff. So, I mean, for the obvious like building areas, we'll have like bigger entrances, so you can like make your castle and stuff bigger.
Yeah. I mean, we want to put in like castle gate entrances at some point as well, with sort of metal gates that you have to kind of bring up, and you know, then obviously the horse can come through.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my ultimate goal is get jousting and stuff in. So there's no horse combat at the moment, but we want to work on knightly jousting and using bow and using sword off the horseback.
Yeah.
Want to kind of work on those things.
Kind of like one of the ideas was kind of like the siege map idea, having like a specific experience that you know, jousting, that kind of stuff could be another area that you go to within Mercia, which would be cool.
So the horse, you can see, is far quicker moving around than it is being on running and stuff. We've still, I mean, it's still work in progress. We're still working on a lot of stuff on the horse. So if you do get some strange behaviour, we're still working on it. I think we've got a live build, I think, by the end of next week. So this beta will move into live. So we've got a week, quite an intense week of work to do still.
Yep. And if you guys have any comments or anything, let us know during that week. while playing the beta, we can sort of get fixes in or tweak stuff.
I mean, it's really good to emphasise how handy it is you guys playing the beta branch, because it gives us such a good influx of bugs and stuff that we can look at. I mean, there's only, I mean, how many? There's only like 5 of us in total, so there's only so much we can cover. So the community have been great so far in keeping us up to date with various issues that occur. Because unfortunately, making games super complex, and it's always time consuming. Yeah. Cool, so that's horse stuff.
You're the mercenary stuff in this one.
Which one?
Are you going to a different level for the mercenary?
Yeah, no, we can do that. Once you pop off a horse, he'll just you'll hang around for a bit, but you'll wander off and stuff like that. So we can do. Let's do a bit of the combat work in progress stuff. So, as we found out, making a melee game melee systems are incredibly difficult. There's not really many games that do well with melee systems. I mean, even like big, huge companies like making For Honor and stuff struggle with a lot of melee actions. So we've done, I think we've done like 6 different melee systems.
Yeah, we've done a lot of different.
We've done a lot of different versions, trying to find out how we can have like a fun way of fighting. So our last kind of melee push we did was based upon moving the camera to first person, so doing all the first person animations and systems to support that, and also making it more reactive. We found our combat was a bit slow, and there was like a kind of delay and lag performance stuff that was really affected combat. So we've been working hard, doing lots of underlying stuff to speed up swinging. But one of the exciting, I mean that's boring back end stuff, but some of the exciting stuff for combat is we've got this new precise damage system. What I'll do is to show you how accurate it is, we'll just boost the hit areas to show some damage.
So we got a question from Riga saying, "Can you jump with the horse?"
Yep.
And so,
yeah, you can jump the horse. Yeah. We made the camera third person for horse stuff, so you get a better view of the area. But hopefully you can do everything you can on the horseback eventually that you can do running around.
Yeah.
We made the camera third person for horse stuff, so you get a better view of the area. But hopefully you can do everything you can on the horseback eventually that you can do running around. Another thing about this combat system is the armor areas. So AI will have like a type of armor, and that will affect how much damage you're doing to them. Our kind of armor system before was just a generic value, so AI would just have a value that they'd use to kind of mitigate damage. But now it's accurate towards what they have, what they're wearing, and you can actually knock it off. So we started with a helmet, so you can knock the head will be really protected, and then knock the helmet off, and then you do loads of damage.
This is cool because it feels a lot more tactile, like you're actually hitting them and they're being reactive to the hits that you're doing.
Yeah, we found when we were testing that you just switched off a lot of the time when swinging the weapon around, and but we didn't want that. We wanted to actually think what we're doing. So again, there's a bit of technical stuff, but we're in a kind of character shader here. This is a skin that applies towards the AI. You can see his face on that.
Messed up face.
So what we're going to do, I'm just going to stick a colour on, quite an extreme colour on these materials here. Let's go pink.
Let's go 80s synth-mode.
Cyberpunk, yeah. So in that way we'll definitely see where these hits are landing.
So if you guys have any questions, just feel free to check them in the chat, and we can answer them while we're going through. just compiling the shaders as well, so that'll take a second to load fully.
We've got various technical stuff that we have to make testing easier. For fighting stuff, we can like spawn guys on the fly. So we'll just use that. I'll just grab a stick clip here. So he's a bit slower when compiling shaders. And these are little testing kind of bells that we use for summoning guys. So blocking's always an ongoing kind of a concern, but we made blocking far more accurate. So now, yeah, they won't get through.
We had a bug before where if they swung, they could swing up and over in 3 and hit you from behind.
Yeah.
But hopefully that's fixed now with some of the new changes we've done.
Yeah, what was kind of happening was it looks like he's swinging in front, but the hit would register like on top of your head or slightly behind it, and that made blocking quite difficult. But now it should be completely accurate. So we got damage areas. If we just click on the arm there, we can see that bit there, that little black bit's where we just hit him, and that will react towards the flesh versus the wood armor he's wearing. If we get a little bop in the head, so he's got a leather helmet there. There we go, now we got that.
It's splitting.
He's just taken some damage to his frontal cortex there. That's going to affect his IQ.
So that lines up perfectly. Riga was just asking, the helmets fall apart if you hit them with a blow.
Yeah, so we want to really increase this system, so we're going to do lots of stuff over like pauldrons for the shoulders and chest plates that you knock off, but just to get started, we'll get rid of his helmet. Do that. We'll pop his head off. So let's get a couple more guys and show the system. So this is a still work in progress system. I reckon we'll have it finished by next week, the end of next week.
There's lots of small little changes and fixes we're adding together in the combat. I think over time are just gonna make it real tasty. It's one of those ongoing kind of things. So we did some stuff with the physics death as well.
Yeah, so before we had it was like a spawned in ragdoll body, but it was acting a bit funny, and you'd feel a bit of a delay when you killed an AI. So now we ragdoll that instance, and then he gets reallocated into a pool. Again, it's tech stuff, but if you wanted to know about game deving, then that's one of the problems you have to face.
Yeah, so we basically have a pool or a large amount of like AI that are deactive, just sitting ready, so they don't have to be loaded in each time we spawn, which saves a lot of memory.
So we can go. I mean, that's new combat stuff. We'll have far more top down. Maybe not next stream, but the stream after that on the combat, and hopefully it's out there and live. But we want to, once we do the AI stuff, so in the beta you'll be able to play around with some of this initially.
Yeah.
And then there'll be another beta this week anyway. But after that, we want to start applying the stuff to the player. So be kind of your player armor will start being affected. So when you're PvPing, you can knock someone's metal helmet off and then damage the head. We've been tweaking and balancing the damage numbers. So if you do hit someone in an area that's not as important, it just won't do as much damage. So headshots are really the priority now. You see there by his health's only affected a little bit. So there's not much damage happening there at all. But if we do knock his head off, then that's going to cause quite a bit of damage. You see by the pink material we've added that his whole face is now bleeding. We can extend this into Gibbs system, so Cameron, who leads a lot of the art stuff, is going to make kind of a Gibby gross shader for when you damage people.
Yeah, it's going to make armor feel more purposeful as well. So like this dude with the stick armor isn't going to be anywhere near as good as a dude with like full metal armor.
Yeah, really affect it. I mean, not like armor doesn't affect the game just now, it does mitigate damage, but now it will be far more accurate. And this is one of the reasons we wanted to have first person in the game, so we can get this accuracy. For you can actually see where you're swinging.
Straight to bed.
So we've got a few things left to talk about. What time is it? 37. So what we'll do about mercenary stuff. Yeah, so we'll do mercenary stuff. There's a
so we've had the guards in the game for a while.
Yeah.
But they kind of with the previous system, it's quite tough to actually kind of control where they're going and kind of make them feel like they're actually being useful rather than just kind of standing around in your base. So we were chatting and we decided to make them more strategic, basically.
Yeah, it's something we've kind of wanted. Our kind of end goal is all out war.
Yeah.
So like players bring in AI and just big clashes and fights happening. And that was the idea for the guards. It's just we hadn't had time to kind of treat that.
If you've ever seen Vikings, some of those scenes where they kind of like walk up to each other on a battlefield and across from each other, that kind of idea would be really cool.
That horse is getting annoying again. I think we need to be in the guild, so let's make a guild.
Yeah. So with the stuff, it's the same. The guards are exactly the same as the old system in some regards. So you need to be in a guild. You need to have a territory, and then you obviously need a guild guard contract. So Mitchell's got a couple that he's found on the ground.
That we leave lying around.
Yeah.
I'll need to own this land as well, I think.
93 gold.
Okay, we need some gold. Let's see. Let's chat to these guys over here.
Make it quick. I'm busy.
Yeah.
So your book.
Yeah, I've got enough for that. Let's 93. Let's.
It's a poor merchant.
Yeah, let's sell him some sticks. We got the gloves maybe. Let's see who buy a helmet with us. Just found over there.
He's a bad, he's a bad merchant.
We'll take the stick though.
I got a green now. It's been a day.
Okay. So we got this little town thing here. We'll claim that. Stream town. And now we can start creating our little army. So we just got this initial guy to start with. Let's build a couple.
So his shaders are just building. That's what the
checker pattern does. And so now what we have to do is when we go up to an AI to use it, we can recruit them. So they're yours anyway. They'll be in your town. They'll do AI protection stuff still, but now we can actually recruit them into a little party. So as I recruited them, you'll see on the left there, we have a little icon, and we have orders. Now we can give the AI now.
Yeah.
So this guard can follow us around, patrol, guard, attack people. Let's get this guy in our team as well. So might as well get a couple.
So we currently have a cap of 5.
Yeah.
5 that you can bring around with you or control at one time at the moment.
So we can like all the commands are very basic. I mean we've still got to pad out the system, but let's say we just tell them to patrol around, and then they'll go for little walkies, have a look like that. Or let's say we want to take them on a little adventure.
Yeah. Let's go raid another person's town.
I don't have keybinds in this one. So we can take them with us and then go to an enemy place and let them run havoc. For now we've only got this one generic guy, but we'll work on bow guys and knights and heavy heavy guys, and hopefully move that into siege stuff. So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we can increase the commands as well in the future. These are just some of our basic ideas of just what the essentials are for a guy commanding around our group. But yeah, later on we can do some extra stuff.
but this guy's in the beta, so if you do find a light guard, you can actually use him and mess around this system. And then in the beta during midweek, we'll have this system enhanced a bit more, and that'll be good to hear feedback on that stuff.
Yeah. So Riaga's asking, does it work with Archer 2 or and Royal Guards? So that's
I mean, not at the moment, but we want to do that.
Yeah.
So we need to see how it balances. We might have to split the guys into ones that look after your base and ones you take on. We call these guys mercenaries to start with, but we'll need to see how that goes. If it is more desirable that people want to take bands of AI around, then we'll concentrate on that. We'll make more like Royal Guards and Archers and Crossbowmen that you can take with you.
And the cool thing is this could be expanded to make that kind of war stuff. We could even have it so you get a pack horse or something that follows you, or a siege weapon or something that's driven along by a couple of guys. So this could be really extended.
It'll be really cool because it'll be like a small group of players, but you could have like a whole bunch of guys with you, especially if you're raiding like other people's bases. It'll make that stuff more enjoyable. Recruit these guys as well.
Get a party going.
And that's the Merc system. Again, it's one of our work in progress systems, so it's not as is. But we're quite excited about that. We think it's going to be cool, especially PvP with AI getting involved.
Yeah. Just walking around in editor has been badass. Like you're walking along and then some guy jumps you, and you guys just take him out. But yeah, and again with that, if you play it and you find one and you get to see it, let us know what you think. Let us know what you think would make it better.
When we do our next beta, we'll definitely announce that stuff in the patch notes. And also, okay, there was one thing I want to chat about over resources. Is there any questions?
Does the horse currently have an inventory like I guess it? So yeah, we don't have an inventory on the horse at the moment, but we were talking about potentially in the future doing it.
Yeah.
Because that kind of thing is pretty cool, and it would give extra use for the horse as well, and value to the horse.
Yeah, so it's definitely something we want to look at. Maybe it's a different horse type, so maybe it is a donkey versus actually having a horse. Right, so so resources were something that we were always kind of wrestling with, because we are an open world game and there is a lot of stuff to kind of deal with, like memory and stuff like that. So we always struggle with how much we can have in the game. So we're working on a new system, which is very similar to Arc system, but basically allow us to create far more resources in the world. So this is our basic stick resource guy, and just to show how much we can actually increase this now without any impact. Let's get a whole bunch of these get done.
So the interesting thing about this is what Mitch was doing here is exactly how we paint in the foliage, so all the bushes and stuff like that. It's a very quick and easy system that the Unreal Engine did for sort of painting lots of stuff down. Currently our stuff is procedurally placed, the sort of stuff you pick up, but this is going to let us expand that and make it a lot quicker and easier to get stuff. So obviously at the moment if you play there's a bit of a problem getting sticks and stuff. The random chance, even though it should be percentage balanced, it just doesn't seem to be working quite as it should. So this kind of stuff will let us put a lot of sticks, stones, all the kind of basic essentials around basically like like Arc. It's a very similar idea to how they do their stuff.
Yeah, so already you can see there's a ton of resources in the map, and it shouldn't affect any performance. This is one of our work in progress systems, so we're going to extend this into like stones and other common resources. But that should allow us to offset a lot of the resource issues in the game.
Good thing about this as well is it's optimized, a lot more optimized than the other blueprint system that we use for popping stuff down. These are a lot lighter, like back end stuff wise. Yeah.
So yes, that's all the new stuff we've got. We'll after the stream, so we need to do that soon. We'll push the beta out, so it'll be a new beta branch. You just give that a download and see some new stuff, and then that's it. We'll have we're on weekly streams now, so there's our second one. So we'll have another one next Saturday.
Number 2.
We'll have number 3. I'm sure we'll have a bunch to talk about by then.
Yeah. Like we were saying last week, we're going to try and make these regular now.
Yeah.
We want to, like we had good fun last time, and it's nice to kind of show you and see what you guys are thinking of the stuff we're doing. And this one's cool because like we're literally releasing, hopefully, in the next, unless something goes wrong, in the next few hours, the beta of the stuff you were just seeing, so you can jump on tonight and play.
Yeah.
And we'll post out some patch notes and stuff, so you know
the
announcement when it's out.
We'll have 2 betas this week, so we'll have this one we'll push it just now, and then one midweek. And then we should hopefully have an update by the end of the week. And that update will be majorly around the siege stuff, so we'll push the siege stuff into the live branch. It'll also have our optimization for a lot of stability on the live area. And also we had, because there was some network saturation happening on our servers at the moment, so hopefully it should fix that.
So it's an all-around one, really. Some fixes, some optimizations, and a bunch of new content, which is going to be cool.
But the horses and the siege stuff were really exciting. And then we'll have a better idea about how the mercenary system's working and the combat.
Yeah.
And I think that's it.
Cool.
Cool guys, that's our, at least we've saved this stream off, so if you did miss it, we can just go onto YouTube.
If you've heard of YouTube.
You heard of youtube.com and then you'll see the stream on there.
Yeah, so until next time, maybe see you tonight if you play the beta.
Yeah, we'll be on there. Cool.
Okay, cool. Cheers everybody. Cheerio.